You think manipulation looks obvious. Loud arguments, clear lies, direct control, but here's the uncomfortable truth. The most dangerous manipulators don't raise their voice. They lower yours. They don't push you around. They make you move yourself. And by the time you realize what's happening, you've already handed them exactly what they wanted. Today, you're learning the 9 subtle signs that expose a manipulative person before they get too deep into your life. These aren't the obvious red flags. These are the quiet tactics psychologists see every single day. And once you learn to spot them, you'll never unsee them. Sign 1. They answer questions you didn't ask. You mention you're tired. They launch into a story about how exhausted they are, how they barely slept, how their problems are so much worse. You weren't complaining. You were just sharing, but somehow the conversation is now entirely about them. This is called conversational hijacking. Manipulators redirect attention to maintain control of the narrative. They need to be the center, always. And they'll use your vulnerability as the opening. Sign 2. They remember your mistakes but forget their own. Bring up something they did last week, and suddenly their memory is blank. Oh, I don't remember it that way. Are you sure that happened? But mention something you did wrong 6 months ago, and they recall every detail. Time, date, exact words. Psychologists call this selective memory. It's not an accident, it's a strategy. They weaponize your past to keep you defensive and too guilty to hold them accountable. Sign 3. They give compliments that feel like insults. You're so brave for wearing that. Most people couldn't pull it off. Wait, was that a compliment or a critique? You can't tell. And that's the point. These are called backhanded compliments. They create confusion. You feel good for a second, then bad, then unsure. And in that confusion, you become easier to control. Because now you're seeking their approval to clear up the doubt they just planted. Sign 4. They play dumb when it's convenient. Suddenly, they don't understand what you're upset about. I didn't know that would bother you. I had no idea. But here's the thing. They knew. Research on covert manipulation shows that feigning ignorance is one of the most common tactics. It allows them to avoid responsibility while making you feel unreasonable for being upset. You end up explaining, justifying, apologizing, and they walk away clean. Sign 5. They're extremely generous, then hold it over you. They offer help, buy you gifts, do you favors. It feels kind at first, but later when you say no to something, they remind you. After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me? This is called transactional kindness. Every act of generosity was an investment. And now they're collecting. Psychologists describe this as reciprocity manipulation. You feel indebted, trapped, guilty for not giving back what they demand. Sign 6. They isolate you slowly. They don't tell you to stop seeing your friends. They just subtly criticize them. Your friend seems kind of negative, don't you think? Over time, you start avoiding people they don't approve of. Not because they told you to, because it's easier than dealing with their comments. Isolation is one of the oldest manipulation tactics. The fewer support systems you have, the more dependent you become on them. And dependency is control. Sign 7. They change the rules mid-game. You follow their guidelines. You adjust your behavior to keep the peace. Then suddenly, the rules change. Now what you did isn't enough. Or it's wrong, or it's too much. This is called moving the goalposts. It's designed to keep you off balance. Because when you can never get it right, you stop trusting your own judgment. And when you stop trusting yourself, you start relying on them to tell you what's real. Sign 8. They use your emotions against you. You're too sensitive. You're overreacting. Calm down. Every time you express a feeling, they minimize it. This is emotional invalidation. And it's psychological warfare. Because once you believe your feelings are wrong, you stop expressing them, you stop trusting them, and when that happens, they control not just your actions, but your inner world. Sign 9. They apologize without changing. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry if I hurt you. Notice the language. It's not an apology, it's a deflection. Real apologies acknowledge the action. I'm sorry I did that. I'll work on changing it. Manipulators apologize to end the conversation, not to repair the damage. And the behavior? It repeats, because the apology was never real. It was just another tactic to regain control. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Manipulation isn't always malicious. Sometimes people manipulate because it's the only way they learn to get their needs met. But that doesn't make it okay, and it doesn't mean you have to tolerate it. If you recognized more than 3 of these signs in someone close to you, trust that feeling. Your instincts are trying to protect you. You don't need more proof. You don't need them to admit it. You just need to protect your peace. Because the most dangerous manipulation isn't the kind that controls your actions. It's the kind that makes you doubt your own reality. And once you reclaim that, no one can take it from you again. Drop a comment if any of these signs felt too familiar. You're not imagining it, and you're not alone.